Once again, we're keeping track with Dino Oberto, and the Hall of Fame motorsport journalist wants to talk about Olympic curling. Very popular right now, Dino. I think you can give it a try. I mean, fast-paced enough for you. Have you ever watched it?
I have watched it, and I'm kind of surprised at what's going on right now with the Russians and all that. I just didn't think that was possible to be caught up on something like that with the doping, as they say. But
a lot of people are surprised. But, you know, this happened in the Olympics. So I think it was in the two-man bobsled. There was a tie, men's. So they came down the track, they tied. I think they split gold medals. Don't know how that all works. Luckily in NASCAR, they have overtimes. You said in the Xfinity race at Daytona, they went to 5 overtimes, and there was very little separation.
5 overtimes, and it still came down to a photo finish. The closest race in the history of NASCAR, the margin of victory, if you can believe this, was .0000. So go figure that one out. It came down to thank goodness that they have all the technology for digital finishes with cameras and things of that like. So it came down to a kind of right what they saw with the eye. So Tyler Reddick was the winner.
What a way to start the season. I want to talk about the Monster Energy Cup Series on Sunday. Big day. The number 3 Chevy gets the win. Austin Dillon, he celebrated early into Monday morning, Dino, and then he got a tattoo on his bumper. And by that, I mean his rear end that said champ, I think, or something like that. So he had a good time with it. And he, right at the last minute, got a win there. A little bumping.
You know, that whole deal down there, with that kind of a show, and it's basically in all the series where they had it with the trucks on Friday. You've seen it with the Xfinity on Saturday, and of course with the Cup race, it came down to the last 20 laps or so. That's always typical, but it's pack racing. And these guys are blocking for position because they have no choice. It's the way those cars are set up. They eliminated the ride heights. They really have to get a dance partner in order to draft with one another. So they're down to the last lap. Eric Almirola, who is now in the 10 car, was looking at about 3/4 of a mile from victory lane, but he got a bump and run from the number 3 car of Austin Dillon, a.k.a. a typical Dale Earnhardt Sr. move. And it's amazing because it came 20 years to the day that Dale last won there when he was in the same situation. But that's what it comes down to. You have to be in that pack racing. You have to really be up on the wheel, and that's what he needed to do to win. So it happened.
And I like this quote. He said, "I'm pretty hardcore about the 3 car and what I'm doing, and I'm very proud to have it. It's a pretty sacred thing. It's kind of surreal." Now, there were some local ties, as usual. Anytime you talk with Dino, he will bring it back down to Northeast Pennsylvania somehow. Local woman, Dino, who was working in the pits down at Daytona. An interesting story because she's going to school for this right now.
Stephanie Moyer, great kid, raced locally at Evergreen Raceway. Her father, Mike Moyer, is a veteran racer from these parts, and she just recently gave up the steering wheel to pursue a career in motorsports through the mechanics end of it, and she attends the University of Northwestern Ohio, of course in Ohio, and that school, what they do is they nurture these young kids and they take them to these tracks, and she helped out on some of the ARCA teams, and she was there during the truck race, the Xfinity race, as a part of classroom therapy. So it was pretty cool, and so she got a first-hand deal of what she's learning in the classroom and taking it right out to the field.
There was someone else you wanted to mention, Dino, during Speed Week who's having some success.
Matt Mattern Jr., a champion factory stock driver from Mountaintop. He's a second-generation driver. His father, Matt Sr., also had raced down there, but he went to the NASCAR Institute and took up. There's 2 different ways you could actually do that. I might stand corrected on that. They're probably going to be saying, no, that's not the school he went to. But he went to learn about pit crew. And working as a pit crew member, and with that, after graduating, has got the opportunity to travel across the country through thanks to what he has learned from the school. So now you'll see him at an ARCA race, at a truck race, at an Xfinity race, with the ultimate goal of obviously becoming a pit crew member on a Cup team, because they're permanent members. Those guys, when they get out there, they are on a team. But as far as Matt Jr. goes, right now he is cutting his teeth through the opportunity of racing on these second-tier divisions, and that's going to get him noticed. And he's doing quite well because he worked on the Venerini team. They won at Daytona in the ARCA race. He wasn't on the winning team, but he's right there as a part of that, so it's looking good for him.
Well, Dino, when we're recording this, it's 70 degrees outside in downtown Hazleton, kind of racing weather. So we're going to bring Dino back and talk about the local scene and getting things going. And you can read his work in the Standard Speaker. And also, you have a title now, right? A GM at a local track. Did I give you a promotion, or is that?
I'm actually now the general manager. Very proud to about that at Mahoning Valley Speedway, and also I'm going to be named as the president of the Eastern Motorsport Press Association. So it's kind of been a good off season for me.
And I'll make an announcement about curling for cannoli coming your way possibly this summer.